series, and then did someone else write that?
Yes.
Okay, it's like I don't remember writing that.
Brad sucks.
Perfect.
Brad sucks. Who wrote that?
Wait a minute. Welcome to Galaxy Bound Podcast. We're talking about Andor finale, Andor Season 2 finale, episodes 10, 11, and 12. It has finally come to a bittersweet end. We're going to go through each episode just like we did last time, as best we can. I have all of the major beats.
As best we can without jumping ahead too
Without
much.
Jacob jumping ahead too much.
Sorry. That's ADHD.
So, in the very last episode...
That truly, that was the first thing I was going to say. I was going to say, so the ending was messed up, right?
But we did. I remember we were in the first episode still, and you were like, oh, and by the way, in the last episode...
I don't know.
Oh, wait.
They all ran together.
We'll get there.
Yeah, last week's all ran together.
Yeah,
This-
it really
this-
did, yeah.
Yeah, this one kind of did too.
Yeah.
But
I kinda like it that
was
way.
definitely more, I don't know. It felt like it could have been all one episode, but
Yeah.
I liked it. I
Yeah.
liked all three of them. Anyway.
It's kind of like... that's kind of why I liked how they've done these,
arcs.
like, 3 arcs, or 4 arcs of 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Because it almost feels like you're watching one full movie
Yeah.
each time, and you're not, like, waiting another week for not a ton of stuff when, like, they're all 3 together. You're like, oh, that was, like, the perfect amount of stuff we needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
And I have a question about that topic for later, but we'll get to it.
Do you have it written down?
I do.
Okay. Okay, so we'll go through episode 10, and I'll just kind of go through some of this stuff, and then if you think of something to add to it, then just jump right in. So the opening scene is Young tells Luthen about all the stuff. He, like, puts out that emergency thing, and Luthen's like, he rang the bell, and he's like, oh, I always thought if that would actually work or not.
Yeah, he was like, I always wondered if that worked.
Like, well, yep, that's why it's there. And he just tells them everything that basically we know that they know in Rogue One, which was kind of cool. And then he kills him.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was...
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. It was very devastating also after he was just like, my wife and son are waiting, or my wife and kid are waiting for me, and I was
So
like,
dark.
Yeah. I was
bummer.
like, okay, once
But-
he said that, maybe Luthen would be like, okay, we'll take care of you.
But also in kind of a way, I feel like it almost vindicated him to the Empire of being like, oh, he got killed. So, like,
Yeah,
maybe
it kind
his
of
family's
actually
safe.
helped them in their favor of giving them a little bit of time for the Empire to figure out why he was killed and, like...
Yeah, because when Dedra's former subordinate, I forget his name, mentioned it to Partagas, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Mentioned it to Partagas, he was like, what?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I feel like in that way, it kind of just, nobody was on his tail,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
So,
It's also
yeah,
one
she just kind of died for no
less
reason.
person for him to worry about getting to safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
like,
that
Or
was...
squealing.
Yes.
Tying up a loose end. For
Yeah,
sure.
it was
Yeah.
really just tying up a loose end, which is
Sad.
all that Luthen has been doing this whole time. Is he's always tying up loose ends.
Yeah.
That's why it was a shock that he didn't kill Bix in that one episode. When he came
I kind of
in.
thought he was
Yeah.
going
like that
to.
was like the
Yeah.
perfect setup. It was
Yeah.
good that he didn't.
I thought she was going to die in this show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
Which,
I even thought at the very end of the show, I don't know why I thought, like, she's going to die here.
Yeah.
It's just a
Yeah.
starfighter, just
Or
a TIE
like,
fighter.
the Death Star is, like, testing out. And they, like,
Oh,
That would have been
you
nuts.
just see her, like, turn around and, like goes
Yeah.
up in lights.
oh my gosh.
That's what I thought was
so
gonna happen.
dark.
Yeah.
And
That would
Yeah.
that would have sucked so hard.
but the first test of the Death Star was Scarif, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but
That we know of.
yeah, that would have been.
Yeah.
But I still was like, surely not.
Yeah.
Oh,
But she kept looking off into the horizon. And I'm like, is the
and you
horizon just
you
going
see
to
the new moon, and you're like, that's a weird moon. I never saw that before.
I think she was like looking at where like Cassian came back to her, type of thing.
I think
be.
it was just kind of more
Just
of
waiting
a
for him to come back. for
binary
sure.
sunset type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where she was just looking out to the distance.
And if you notice, like, you didn't see like the grain harvesters anywhere. Like those big silos. I mean, maybe they just weren't around in that area, but like those big red silos that they were working on.
It's just fields and
around.
fields of like
fields of
gold
grain.
wheat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
but
big planet, but yeah, so Clay and Luthen go into survival mode, eliminating loose ends and destroying their transmitter. I thought it was a really good interaction between Clay and Luthen of like, he's telling her that she needs to be the one to escape and he's going to be the one that stays behind and like destroys everything. And she's like, no, we talked about this. The plan was that I stay and do it.
yeah.
He's like, nope, plans change.
But then he was like, yeah, just meet me at that thing and just wait for me. Just wait for me.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
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 Bummer.
I love their relationship.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It was cool in this show to see glimpses of the past
yeah,
of how they've
I didn't
come-
think we were going to get that.
Yeah,
No.
but that was
Yeah.
a cool tie-in to the filming of this, of like really getting at the heartstrings of their relationship, not just like the learning of like becoming basically like an assassin type of thing, but like
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can almost see, like, she was almost the driving force of their relationship. Like, she almost, towards the end, she was pretty much the one that held all the keys and, like, could unlock all the doors and formed all the relationships. And Luthien was the one, Luthien formed the relationships, and she just like held the chess pieces and was like, you need to do this and do that and do this and do that and like stay focused or loosen up or whatever.
Oh, and she was like, tuck your shirt in right before they like parted ways. Oh, I loved that.
Yeah.
That just like summed up kind of their relationship a little bit in like a fun way.
Yeah. And you could tell, like, I mean, in a sense, she probably hated him at the start because he was a mud trooper or whatever that was.
Yeah, I had a note here, like, it wasn't clear if it was like, Imperial or like if they were separatists or whatever. Like, it wasn't sure about the timeline.
I think it was the people that I watched that reviewed it were kind of like, maybe the writers were kind of confused in the timeline because Clea and was supposed to be, I guess, in her 30s or something. Like, she looks like she's in her 30s. So like when she was that little, like the Empire was only in power for like 23 years, something like that.
The official
and-
StarWars.com thing, eventually, when I looked at it again,
Like, it ends in
It said
5 BBY or 4
they
BBY.
met 17 years before his death, basically.
Okay.
So
So then she,
it would have been
her late 20s. She would have been in the late 20s, like maybe 30s.
She was probably like 7 or 8 in that.
Yeah, when he first
Maybe
found her, at
even less
least.
than that.
Yeah,
So
I
he
mean,
was
their
older.
armor definitely looked like like you said, stormtrooper mud armor, like mud trooper armor kind of
So
thing.
it must have been like very early Empire then.
Yeah, very
or
early.
like, yeah.
Like what the mud troopers that Han Solo was a part of in the Solo movie at the beginning.
Yeah, somebody said that too.
Yeah, that's what the mud troopers are from.
So he could have been a
It was
part of
very
that.
similar, yeah.
But yeah, it was very interesting. Like he was in charge, I guess, of that area of like killing
Civilians.
her whole village, or whatever
Yeah.
whole city or something like that.
Yeah,
Probably
like if
her
you
family.
had subtitles on, like they were basically saying like,
Yeah.
and you could hear the screaming. Obviously,
Yeah.
like basically
I saw the
killing
subtitles. It was
civilians.
just like, yeah, just kill everything that moves.
Yeah.
Just like
Then you
third
hear
squad
them
move in, blah
screaming.
blah blah. Like
Women
yeah,
and
just,
children.
there's people running. Like get everything. Like kill everybody. Blah
That's
blah
why
blah.
he
It was
kept
like,
saying
whoa.
like, "Make it stop."
Yeah.
Every time they screamed in the distance.
And if you saw in the subtitles, he was like saying something else, like something weird. Like
Yeah.
somebody
language.
yeah, it's a different language.
Somebody
yeah.
said that it was like just his region's language of saying "make it stop." He was just saying it in his
Yeah.
head and saying it
Yeah.
out loud in
That's
English.
kind of what I assumed too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Mhm.
But I did think that was a fitting origin for him. Like
Mhm.
that means that like he had a pretty dark origin story.
Yeah.
Which means which makes the rest of his story make sense of how dark he kind of fights
Yeah.
the Empire.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, just the revenge piece of like he knows the
knows
deep dark secrets
yeah.
of what the Empire really truly does, and he knows they need to be stopped because he was a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked his arrest attempt scene with Dedra.
Yeah.
Really good. Dedra's, I think, one of my favorite actors in this show.
for sure.
She just
She nails it.
incredible in every single episode.
Yeah. Yeah, that
And-
conversation. I have it written out here because it's my favorite, probably my favorite interaction in the whole series.
Yeah.
Because they're like, basically all of the like facades are down finally.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "You disgust me." And he's like, "You want to know why?" And she says, "Everything you stand for." And he says, "Freedom scares you." And she's like, "You don't want freedom, you want chaos." And she says a couple other things. And then he's like, "The rebellion has flown away. It's everywhere now. There's a whole galaxy out there waiting to disgust you." I was
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty sick.
bam!
Yeah.
He says the right thing
Roasted.
every time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, all of his Luthien's dialogue is always so sick. Like when they were
And Krennic.
reviewing it, like they were doing like side by side of his first monologue with Young or Jung or however you say his name.
Lonnie.
Good old Lonnie.
And yeah, they were just doing side by side of like flashes of him like doing things that are messed up and stuff, and then just him ultimately being like what was the last thing that he said? He was like, "What did I sacrifice? Everything." And you just see him with the bleeder, and then he drops it, and then he just fades to black, and I was like,
Cold.
"Ooh." It's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, that I knew as soon as he like pulled out that dagger. I was like, well, that's pretty on the nose,
That's from,
but that's probably what he's going to use.
That's from Kit Fisto's planet.
Yeah, there's a Nautilin bleeding.
And yeah, they just nodded to both of the guys that got killed by Palpatine, which I thought was pretty cool. Or no, never mind. They
Who's
both
the
died.
other one?
They both died in Order 66, I should say.
What was
or close around
You're talking about Plo Koon?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm backtracking. Never
Yeah.
mind. But they
Yeah.
both died at that time.
There's another really funny Easter egg in that scene, though. There's a new one.
Oh, Indiana Jones's thing.
No. I wrote it down here. So they showed Queen Amidala's headdress, another one, not the one from last time. There was a different one. They showed a Gungan skull.
Really?
No way.
Did you notice?
I did not.
Really?
Yeah, I've got a picture of it somewhere. There it is.
Oh. That's insane.
Isn't
That's
that
crazy.
crazy?
Whoa.
Like you can see the like head, tail, bones back here. There's another shot of it.
Ooh, those were bones. I thought they was just dreads.
Well, the beginnings of it are bones, and then the rest of it's probably like cartilage, like our ears are.
Yeah.
It's actually just Predator skull.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks kind of like a predator skull, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's clearly a Gungan because he has it with
Interesting,
the
yeah.
the headdress here.
Oh, yeah.
It's Jar Jar's skull.
Yeah, what if it's a Jar Jar?
I mean, maybe
That would be so funny.
it would make sense.
Well, that flashback where he bombs the bridge.
That was Naboo.
Yeah, I think that was Naboo.
Yeah, it
So
was.
He probably got a lot of that
They
stuff
mentioned
from there.
that. They said they used the exact same spot for when they filmed it, I think, in Phantom Menace or something like that. It was like the same castle or something like that in England or something.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Italy, probably.
And the castle that they used for the like marketplace scene for when all those people got shot by the troopers or whatever, where Luthen and Clea are bargaining or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like walking around and walking up these steps or something like that. That was another castle. It was somewhere in like, it was in Spain. It was a castle in Spain. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was cool seeing Naboo, and it would make sense for that to be like their first like strike that they do because it's the Emperor's home planet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool connection.
Yeah.
It's like a speck in his eye.
Yeah, he probably didn't care.
Bummer.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no.
Just imagine the robot chicken emperor every time I think of the emperor speaking like that.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, so I thought the shots going back and forth between the flashback and then her like infiltrating the hospital
Yeah.
and stuff was just so well done because and it only like really clicked with me the second watch because I knew what she was going there to do. I mean, I kind of assumed she was going there to kill him.
Yeah.
But there was also a chance that maybe she was going to save him too.
Yeah.
But then like the whole time that she's doing that is because she knows that she's going there to kill him. So she's like just, you know, reminiscing about like how they first met and all that kind of stuff, which is really kind of cool.
Everything
Part
she
of me
learned
thought-
from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of me thought that they were gonna put, or she was gonna put slap charges on him because, like, that was their whole deal. It's because Luthen put slap charges on the door when he first met Cassian, and she put slap charges on the thing downstairs to distract everybody. I thought she was just gonna.
Yeah, I thought she was
slap
going to
charges
either
on.
like burn his body somehow or destroy it.
Or just use it as a trap for when Dedrick comes back in, and that's how she dies.
Yeah.
Just ultimately her like lust for trying to find access just ends her.
Yeah, that would
I thought that would have been sick.
Crazy.
But
yeah. Like crying the whole time that she's like strapping all these bombs to his body. That would be
Jeez, that'd be
dark.
so dark.
Yeah, that would have been dark.
It's dark
but-
enough that she killed him, but
Yeah.
yeah, that would be crazy. But it was a really good like tie-in with the point of the flashback of like showing when they first did that first strike on Naboo. Like he didn't let her do it, but it was the fact that she was willing to do it. She was about to do it. Like,
He didn't want her
not
to
this
lose her
time.
humanity all at once.
Right.
yeah, he just wanted to know that she was willing to do it, but also knew what it was going to do. Like she was looking at all the civilians around. Like you got to know what you're doing before you do it, and how it's going to affect people.
Look at me.
Yeah,
Now turn.
yeah.
It's like
that was so good.
it was just such a cool thing of like, yeah, if they were gonna investigate what happened, they were gonna look at everybody, and this little girl just happened to be looking right at the exact same spot,
staring at it, waiting
being
for
like,
it to
"Hey,
happen."
don't look at what we're about to blow up right away.
Yeah.
Wait."
Yeah.
And then we got the longest 10-second fade out
Yeah.
known to man.
Yeah, I
After
said
he
that when we
died.
were watching it downstairs, like the fade out of showing Luthen's body after like she already left, and it faded to black, and it was the slowest fade
I
I've
truly
ever
thought
seen.
they were gonna do something weird like, and now, what's his face, Skarsgård
Silly
is
songs with Larry.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I thought they were going to do like, and this is the end of Luthen or whatever, and thanks to Skarsgård or whatever. I thought they were going to do something weird like that. But
Oh,
they
that would have
ended
been
up not
super
doing it.
cheesy. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been cheesy. I mean, it would have been good if it was the original, like this was supposed to take 10 years. It would have been nice to say, but it's only been
If he had
3
died
years.
in real life, I could see them doing that.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. They'll probably add that on in the next 20 years whenever he dies. Memory of him.
Yeah, I just thought the whole thing with her being like going undercover and like infiltrating that hospital was one of my favorite moments of the whole series.
Yeah.
She comes in as a patient with like a hurt hand or whatever.
Yeah, it was fake. She just like
she
put
takes
blood
it
on
off
it.
whenever
That's
she
so
gets
sick.
into the thing.
I
Yeah,
didn't even think about that.
yeah,
So cool.
It just reminded me, or not reminded me, but it like kind of depicted like a cool like video game of like
yeah.
Splinter Cell or something, just like trying to like get into.
Well, it reminded me of Hitman because
Yes.
you pointed out when she like goes right before she goes into his room, she kills those two stormtroopers and then she like tosses the gun over to the body.
Always grab the better gun.
Yeah, you said that, and then I was like, no, like it reminded me of Hitman. Like the point of like staying incognito is like you don't take the gun because if you have a gun, the cameras are gonna catch you with a gun. Like
and you're gonna have to fight
you're
your way
undercover.
out.
Like
Yeah.
you're still a nurse. Like you could still make it out of there as a nurse. You know.
Yeah, had that little exclamation point next to that big gun. Like,
Yep.
you can't do this or you're going to die.
Yeah, if you pick that up, they're gonna know that you're bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A nurse
Or
with
you
a gun is gonna stick out
You
more than
can't carry
anything.
this with this outfit.
Yeah. Yeah. If you carry this, you got to put on his outfit too, or else you're screwed.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Which she escapes. So
Yeah.
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 valid.
They were suspicious of her, but she still got out of there.
Yeah.
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 And it took them forever to figure out that she was alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they thought she was
Yeah,
a group
they're
of
like-
3.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said
That's
it was
awesome.
a group of, yeah.
Yeah, that happens in the next episode. They're like running down all of the security camera footage, and they're like, wait, it's just one person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll move on to the next episode.
How do you say his name? Heert or Hurt?
Heert.
Geared. Yeah.
Heert.
Yeah. Yeah. We kept making fun of his walk when we were watching tonight because he kept walking like this everywhere.
Yeah.
With his trench coat.
Just kept laughing. Yeah.
Stupid hat. And his trench coat, like right here is where he had it tied like so tight. And so it like flared in and then flared straight out while he's walking.
Yeah, and he's
Like,
walking
oh my
like
God.
that, just look like a cartoon
Probably
character.
got massive hips. He can't even help it.
Oh my
I'm like,
god!
can you stop walking like that? It's like, no.
It's just
I'm
my walk.
sorry. Can you film me from the crotch up instead?
Then it'll just be like awkward and going back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dedra is interrogated by Krennic, and I thought that was one of the best scenes in the show as
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
When he puts his finger on her head so aggressively.
Yeah.
When he takes it off, she like goes like this because that's how hard that he was pressing up against her head.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
It kind of reminded me of The Matrix when Morpheus gets in the first one, when Morpheus gets interviewed by Agent Smith and he just grabs his face and he's like, "Tell me the codes to Zion."
Yeah,
Just grabs that, just like,
Yeah, well, when he leaves the room, he does that. He grabs her face. He's like,
Yes.
we'll probably get along just fine without
be fine
you.
with
yeah.
Yeah.
And that crushed her.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen any of the Matrix
Not the
movies?
Matrix, no.
Oh boy.
I've only seen the
That's
first one.
like early 2000s gold.
Yeah, is it that good?
Oh, yeah.
Does it still
Yeah.
hold up today?
Yeah.
No.
Um,
The action scenes don't.
it can get cheesy if you watch them back to back. It gets cheesy.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It gets cheesy if it's back to back. I mean, the
It's
actions the whole time.
Like
in
they're
every
flying through
action
the
scene.
air and you could tell they're on
Like that noise over and over again in every action
Like
scene.
zipline wire.
yeah, zipline wire. Yeah, you could tell they're on wire.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like the first X-Men movie.
Yes, it's
It's like that.
I think it was like, yeah, it was one of the first, I think, movies that had like the rotating camera or something like that while the guy was what's his face
doing like
was
the
going down.
slow-mo.
Yeah, just him going down and like dodging the bullets or whatever. I think
Yeah.
it was one of the first. So it's very early technology.
It is, but it
movie
kind
making.
of like set the stage for a lot of future action movies. So like it's just one of the first to do a lot of stuff.
for sure. But yeah, that was an intense interrogation.
Yeah, I loved like you said, like
Krennic is just
Krennic
so
is such a
and
good
she's just
character.
also really good.
Yeah, him being like, who else knows? And she's like, What do you mean? She's like, say the word.
I
Death
think
Star.
it's funny that he made her like think about why he would be there. And
Yeah, because
not
at first
someone else.
she obviously wouldn't know what's going on.
Why would I
No,
be in this
'cause she's-
forsaken basement?
Yeah, she's just been laser focused on Axis, and she hasn't considered anything else until he says that. Like, why would I be in this godforsaken basement? Like, oh no!
Death Star.
Yeah, you idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you find out about that? An email.
Yeah, basically.
And somebody who reviewed it was like, I really hope that the whole reason of the fall of the Empire was just somebody hitting reply all instead of reply.
So true. Yeah, because like she wouldn't have gotten that stuff any other way.
Yeah.
And the only reason that all of this happened was because Young had access to her stuff.
Yes.
And this mysterious guy sending her all this information, whoever
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
2 accidents that helped the rebellion.
Yeah.
Like just 2 tiny little accidents.
That's just wild.
too many leaks is what they said or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Or
cool.
what was it? Empire has too many or oppression has too many leaks or something.
Yeah, tyranny, I think is what
Yeah.
they said.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was, I did not really expect her to be the reason for all of that, even if it was accidental,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
Because we always kind of maybe expected her to be like maybe a double agent by the end in some way.
I knew that wasn't going to happen after Cyril died.
Yeah, after Cyril died, it was like,
She's hardcore.
yeah, poor
Empire.
Cyril. But also not.
It's because he choked her.
Yeah, after he choked her, I was like, okay, dude.
Yeah, relax.
She probably liked it.
Oh, yeah.
She's probably like, oh, aggression, finally. This guy.
Turn out the lights.
Yeah, turn off
Turn out the lights. Okay. Fade to black.
Fade to black.
K2SO, man.
Yeah.
He's
Dude,
just
he nailed it.
so good.
Yeah, but I just really wish we had gotten more.
Yeah.
Like, we got him for only 2 episodes.
Yeah, but I mean,
But
you
those
get him
2
in the
episodes were good.
you get him
Oh,
in the
yeah.
whole movie.
Yeah,
So
but
I mean,
I just was really expecting this show to have more of him because it was pitched as Cassian and K2SO in the first place.
Yeah.
yeah. But
So-
I mean, you got it. You got him.
I got
playing,
enough of him, I think.
Got enough playing cards and him.
Yeah, the card scene
Coming
was
to the
great.
rescue.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Him coming to the rescue was crazy.
Yeah.
I loved that so much. Him being like, him saying, oh no,
Yeah.
made my day.
Then he
Like,
just like
oh no. Oh no.
marches through that
Yeah.
that hallway.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars and
gosh,
hallway
just go
scenes.
through-
It's
Yeah,
just
it's
And
always-
chef's kiss every time.
Yeah. Especially modern Star Wars scenes are crazy.
The very first trooper that he walks up to, and the guy's like, "Are you here?
Are you with us?
Are you with us?"
No.
And just sends him over the bridge.
And then he destroys their comms by killing that guy. Just going, doink.
Yeah.
Kicks the guy into the elevator.
Yeah.
Oh,
So good. And then he just uses
Yes.
his shield.
He uses
That
here
was
as a shield.
that was super satisfying because that guy
Yes.
was super annoying.
Yeah.
Yes. Like his face the whole time was like,
Well, he was dead. He was just going.
well, not at first because you could hear him screaming.
No. when he
His neck was
grabbed
just going.
when he
Yeah.
grabbed him, he killed him because
you
I
heard
rewatched it. I rewatched it. Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Maybe you did hear him scream.
Yeah,
but
you hear him scream.
he grabbed him and his body was just limp.
I think he
I
was
know.
dead.
But I'm 90% sure he was dead
I
because
know
I
he was
watched
dead
it like
eventually,
I
but-
watched that whole K2 like when he started killing people. I watched that like 3 times.
I think
I mean, we could watch it again, but
I think he was already dead.
I think he was already dead too. But
I mean, it depends on which
His
shot
body
we're talking
was
about.
so limp. It just was like
Yeah.
getting shot in his
Unless
neck
he
just
was-
goes
'Cause
like
they showed
this.
two
unless he
different
like
shots.
had him by the spine, I don't think that he was still alive, because he was limp and he was all sweaty and like.
Using him
That was
as
a
rag doll.
Was that in the last episode, right?
No.
No, it was the second one.
No, it was this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it started off.
There it is.
Apparently everyone's out running down the emergency disease warrant.
Backfires on him.
That's the second time he said flood it.
Yeah.
Green.
You hear him screaming the whole time.
He's screaming.
Now he's dead.
He's dead now.
Yeah, now he's dead.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. When he's shooting him
When
right
he's
here.
shooting him
yeah,
dead.
yeah. I was talking about when he grabbed him. His face was like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
like he knew he was done for.
I mean, yeah, you could just hear the life disappear out of him after he's like grabbing him.
yeah.
But you wouldn't have thought that why was he starting? I mean, maybe he was alerted in some way, but like he just started shooting at him. Like,
Oh, well, we just
he's
saw
Imperial
the other guy
droid.
get killed.
Oh,
The guy that was covering his back.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got blasted.
Mm. Oh, that's why he was carrying a gun.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah,
bing.
Yeah, he blasted him first.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So sick.
Yeah.
So good.
What does he say when he rescues him? He says something cheeky.
Cassian, I have cleared a way out.
Yeah.
I cleared a path.
It's so good.
Yep.
Yeah. So, why is Cassian so mean to him?
Because he's a droid.
Yeah.
He's a droid, and he's an Imperial droid, and he's
But I don't
probably
feel
just,
like he was that way in Rogue One.
oh yeah,
A little
I
bit.
think he was.
A little bit.
Wait, didn't he,
At least K2 like got him back into SmackDown.
Yeah.
A fresh one.
in season 1, his backstory when he was little was like droid related, wasn't it?
Like, doesn't trust droids or something?
Yeah.
No, you're thinking of Din in The Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
That's why he doesn't like droids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, no. Cassian's history was with clones.
Oh, yes. Yes.
The Republic transport
Yep.
that landed.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
In season 1.
Yeah, I don't think I know what you're talking about either.
In season
That
1,
wasn't-
when like the Republic,
That
it's
wasn't
like the very
clones.
first scene. So when the Republic craft comes in,
Of Andor?
yeah. When he and his sister and the other kids are like there, and
Pretty
the
sure it's a
Republic-
flashback.
yeah,
Why was
it
the
is a
Republic?
flashback.
I thought it was Imperial.
no, because it was before the Empire. He was a kid.
That's true.
Hmm.
That's weird.
He was a really
Go
young
back
kid.
and rewatch that.
And then
just-
Marva was part of that transport, and then somehow they all died. I don't remember what happened,
Mm.
but then she like takes him in as her like son.
They all died. Well, they all died because they crashed.
Well, I think something else happened,
I forget, but
or like
It-
they were already
yeah.
they were already dead before, and that's why they crashed or something. I don't remember. But yeah, it was a Republic.
clone related.
Yeah, it was a Republic ship because it had the Republic logo on it.
Either way, yeah, I was just curious as to why he was so like cold to him at the very end of like when they're taking off, and it's like, aren't you glad now that I am? I don't know what he says to him. Like, is my value
Yeah, he says, yeah,
confirmed now for you guys?
like have all the doubts on me been erased or something
Yeah,
like
and
that.
he's like,
He's kind of
"Get
like
us out
that
of
with
And he's like,
everybody.
"Get us
though.
out of here." He's like,
Maybe not to that
Okay.
extent.
He is kind of like that to
but he's
everybody.
kind of cold.
yeah,
mhm.
but he also just got his butt saved.
Oh, yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
would have been like,
Well, Cassian's also
Thank you.
not the type to be like, "Thank you, buddy."
true.
But you have a point, and this is like my main complaint about the series, and especially this season, is like we should have seen way more of their development as partners,
Yeah.
and like seen that like progression of like,
I'm
yeah,
sure-
we get
yeah.
that Cassian doesn't trust this droid because it's an Imperial, but clearly there was a lot of progression made until Rogue One,
Yeah.
when they're
Well,
like
yeah.
a little
it could,
more buddy.
it could also be that one of his one of those droids got him in prison from grabbing him up and sending him off to prison. That's what happened.
That is
One of
true.
those droids
The
grabbed him.
confusing part to me is that we went from like the beginning meeting of them is like that truck crushes him into the wall and he sees that. And then I don't know, like if it's like compassion, but he like felt like he needed to like save the droid and then go like refurbish it.
That was my complaint last week too.
Yeah.
And then, but yet when they're
It
like
seemed
putting him together,
unnecessary.
he's like all hesitant about like pointing a gun at him. But then the very next scene is like they're playing cards
Yeah.
and having a great time and like chummy.
Yeah.
And then the next scene, he's like, just get us out of here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just didn't make sense. I would rather it up to that point be like, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't trust you. And then this be the moment where he finally is like chummy with him and like, thank you for saving my life.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just wasn't a good arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
There
was
wasn't
too
enough
up and down.
progression.
I think also some of it was like K2 was still like very droidy and like doing a lot of statistics, even when they were playing cards and drinking, getting drunk, and being like, "Come on, droid, come on, bet, let's
Yeah,
play the
he's
game. Come
gonna
on, play the
droid
game." And
you.
he's just like, "I don't understand why you said 10 tens, and I'm confused." And he's just like, "Just play,
Yeah.
just play."
It was a really good scene.
I think he was.
Oh, yeah. Good.
I think they were just treating him like a computer, like he was just like a droid.
Kind of, but they were also joking around with him too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So yeah, I do agree with that.
Yeah.
That it just kind of felt back and forth a little bit. But it was also clear that Cassian was like pretty upset about that whole thing. Like Luthen died, now he's got to get out of there with this information, and
Yeah,
they
He
don't
just
have
got
a flight
stunned.
plan.
yeah.
How did they? Like, I don't get how they all got stunned, but Cleia's the one that got hit the hardest.
I think she got whacked against a wall.
Yeah, she.
Yeah.
She like
Yeah.
went up and like up against the wall. The other two just
yeah.
like went.
She was
to the
also
side.
like right next to it.
And
I
Cassian
yeah.
got blinded.
Yeah.
So he was just
Yeah.
staring at it. Like,
Yeah.
Just sat
What's
there and
that?
stared.
Yeah, like I would have kicked it.
Yeah, no. I think that was an editing mix-up. I think they should have just cut it a little more
Been faster.
concise. Yeah, just you see it and then whoop, go
See
to the
it?
next
Uh-oh.
shot.
I think they just wanted to show off, like, oh, here's what this is.
Yeah, like oh, it makes a cool sound. Let's get
Yeah.
the sound department to make a cool sound for it.
Yeah.
Same as all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just were all like,
Kaboom! It was a very like Star Warsy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like something that you'd seen in like the Clone Wars or something. Yeah. So yeah, we kind of jumped ahead a little bit there. Just want to make sure we didn't miss anything important in episode 11. We talked about the card scene. I thought it was kind of funny when she's like doing the like Morse code thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then it's supposed to be going to Willman, who has it under his bed, and then his girlfriend's like, "What is under your bed?"
Yeah.
I made
was
the joke
beeping.
like, "Oh, it's
How
Twi'lek
long?"
porn.
Yeah. Yeah. Twi'lek porn.
It's my friends. It's
Yeah.
Cassian's."
It's K2's. You have droid porn.
Because they like played it out a long time before they actually like pulled it out.
Showed what it was.
Showed what it actually was. Like, oh.
And yeah, it was kind of heartbreaking to see her like freak out, being desperate, and basically just looking at it, and typing it, doing it every 30 minutes or so, and
Yeah.
just like ultimately taking a risk, knowing she's broadcasting all everywhere.
But it was pretty clear that she didn't think that they were aware of it.
Mhm.
Because
That
they sat
Dedra
there
would-
and talked for a long time.
Yeah, I was
when
like,
Cassian
what are
finally
you
showed
doing?
up, they were just like, he was trying to convince her to come with them, which I understand, but then they were just kind of like sitting there like there's no urgency at all. It was like, okay, so I could see that as like they just don't think that they know about their pulse codes,
Yeah.
but then they clearly did.
yeah.
So that was a little weird, but I understand.
Well, also, it never was actually talked about later from like Cassian or any of the group why they thought that Imperial ship showed up to come after her. like they never brought back up again. Like, oh,
Yeah, they
like our
never
pulse
asked.
codes were intercepted, or like
Oh,
it
I
wasn't
see.
secret. Like,
Yeah.
how did this happen?
I don't know if that was
I think
relevant.
Dedra said something about it that like,
Oh yeah, Dedra's
She-
the one that said it.
yeah, she said that they were using Imperial codes or like Imperial
Pulse codes.
pulse codes or something like that, or at least
No, they used them on Ferrix, not Imperial.
right. Yeah. They were using Imperial, like, I don't know, like signals, like Wi-Fi or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah, that
to be
wasn't-
able to
That wasn't
broadcast
Dedra who
out their
said that.
stuff.
That was the forensics person that was
Yeah,
there.
the little forensics person that was.
They were using like
doing the
Imperial
thing.
But you're
power.
talking
Yeah.
about the rebels.
Yeah, I'm saying
And-
like the rebels never thought about why that Imperial troop showed up.
Yeah, but like,
I mean, I know by the end of it, it didn't matter.
It didn't
Well,
at that
the
point.
rebels didn't know just because I don't think they knew what Cassian was doing, right? Because he didn't lug a
I
flight
meant
landing and
rebels
just
as
ran
in
off.
Cassian.
like Cassian never brought it up.
Oh.
Like, hey, they showed up because the transmission wasn't secure, or they
Yeah.
were,
yeah,
interpreting it or something. I don't know.
probably
It is
just
what it
wasn't
is.
Relevant. to
They
that
probably didn't
point.
want to pinpoint it down super hard because they were probably just trying to be like, all right, let's get to Rogue One. Let's
Yeah.
move along.
Well, they also. She was more focused on the information that she needed to tell,
Yeah, she's freaking
and then
out
they got
about that.
attacked.
Yeah, there were more important things. I think.
Yeah.
I think if the topic ever came up, like in their briefings, like, "Hey, let's use pulse codes again." Like, wait a minute, maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't even see that ever come up ever again. So it was,
Yeah, they never really used
seems
it
like
ever.
that was probably a conversation that happened off screen somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get to the episode 12 where they have the board,
Yeah, we've been episode 12
boardroom.
for a while.
Well, yeah, we've kind of been floating between the two.
yeah, the boardroom.
The boardroom of
I
Bail
just wanted to
Organa.
punch
and-
everybody.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, that
Was that
one.
was that Admiral Akbar?
No, that was Radis.
Akbar was
Yes.
later.
Yeah,
Okay.
Akbar doesn't come in until after the events of episode 4.
Okay. I didn't know if like a young version of him was like this involved at this point.
No, Radis, because Radis is in Rogue One,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Akbar replaces Radis.
Who was that? It was like Pemlo. Was that her name?
Pamela, yeah.
She's
wanna-
the senator from Terrace.
I was so
which is a
upset with
KOTOR
her the whole
reference.
time. She just kept being like, "Yeah, can we validate?" I was like, "You guys are acting like Imperials. Like,
Yeah,
shut
it was
up."
the other guy
'cause
that
they
made
are.
me want to like shoot him in
Yeah.
the face. He was like, "Oh, for what does he say? Like, oh, for pity's sake," or something
Yeah,
like that.
oh,
Like,
Yeah.
crying out loud.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, okay, dude.
Just like, you guys are all in Spycraft and Rebels. Like, you think that he's just making it up.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
why
He's
would
just like,
anyone lie
this is
about
just
this?
false information. Like, you guys need to take every lead you can get. Like,
Yeah.
shut up.
Yeah, and then his Cassian was like, Luthen has sacrificed more than any of you combined for this
Yeah.
rebellion.
Yeah.
And that's what
all,
Bale was
yeah,
like.
all of you
"Enough."
here have only sacrificed a fraction of
Yeah.
what Luthien sacrificed, which I thought was beautiful for him to say. I
Oh,
was just
yeah.
like,
'Cause
oh,
it was true.
thank you. Somebody highlighted how crazy this dude was for rebellion.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah, I liked in this episode that like Mon Mothma was the one in the room that like still was hesitant
Yeah.
because she's always been hesitant about Luthen, but
Yeah.
also trusts Cassian
Yeah.
and kind of saw like a glimmer of like I think he's kind of telling the truth, but didn't say that to like the rest of them.
Yeah,
And so
she wanted to believe.
she wants to believe him, but like needs a little bit more
Yeah.
confirmation
Yeah.
with it. And
He was like, Bale was like, when was the last time you talked to Luthen? And he was like, a year ago when I saved Mon Mothma.
yeah,
Yeah, and everybody was
And he like directly looked at Bale because Bale was like the one that had people.
yeah.
He was supposed to save her.
Yeah, he was the one that was supposed to do it.
his people tried to kill her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Bale was like, point taken.
yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
So good.
You could see everybody in the room was like,
Yeah. Got nothing.
Whoops.
and then Mon Mothma jumped on the chance for him to be like, permission to go to the med bay, and she was like, permission granted.
Yeah. Like, that's the one thing I can say without people jumping down my throat.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like it also jumped back to when Cassian said, the minute that I need permission to do something, I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he finally asked permission for something, and he's gone forever.
Forever. I loved when Mon Mothma asked Vel to just basically spy on him.
Yeah.
And
She calls her out.
Instead of spying on him, she just goes and literally just talks to him straight up. Like,
I love that.
directly asks.
I know. You wrote down like Mon Mothma wanted her to spy, but that wasn't Mon Mothma's words.
No,
she didn't say, "I want you to go spy."
Well, she said
that's what Vel
ultimately says.
She says, "Is that what you want me to do?" And she didn't say yes. She says, "I want you to help me believe in him."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
she didn't say no though.
Yeah, but
it was just a weird way of her asking, and I'm not saying that it was like
ultimately
bad thing
asking
for her to do, but
yeah,
it was clear that she was wanting a little more like tact with it.
Yeah.
And she was like, she's not that type of person.
Yeah.
She's like, let's just tell me everything that Clea said.
Yeah. Just ultimately jumped in the room and just like, Mon Mothma wanted me to spy on you. What's up, dude?
Yeah, just tell me everything.
Yeah.
Because they're close enough.
I think Mothma knew she would be the one person that could give her like a black and white answer of whether or not Cassian's telling the truth, whether what's her face? Clea that told Cassian all this is telling the truth.
Because they're also pretty close.
Yeah. Like she's the one person that I think Mothma knew could give her like the straight answers.
The survivors of Aldhani.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just more and more trust to be built between everybody too.
Yeah. I wonder what happened to Aldhani ultimately.
Well, it was funny. They said, I heard someone claimed to be there of what happened.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I'll kill anyone that I ever hear say that. Because that was all like never made public, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone knows about it, that's not good.
Yeah. Not good. Oops. But yeah, and the only other people would have been Aldhanis or Imperials. Mm-hmm. So they were Imperials. Yeah, sure. We would have killed them.
Yep.
Jumping ahead, we can jump back more into the thing, but when Cassian was getting ready to leave, I thought it was really beautiful that he was just like, yeah, I'll be back, and you just see him watering his plants and stuff like that.
He thinks he's going to be back.
Yeah.
I mean, he does come back, but he's taking, it was kind of like a symbolic thing, I think.
Yeah, of him like still taking care of the things that need to be taken care of.
Like he has
his responsibility.
Yeah, like he has things at home that he wants to survive even past him.
Or maybe when Bix comes back, taking care of her plants or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That are still there.
Or
and you could also
other
see
things that Bix has.
Yeah, for sure. But you could also see like the shell that they refurbished to make their own home or whatever. Like you could see a lot of the things from Ferrix. You could see the little what's it called? The thing that they were sleeping in or whatever that they used on Aldhani as well. What's it called? Hammock.
Oh, yeah.
They were using hammocks. Sorry,
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the word.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the word canopy for some reason, but you could just see all the stuff that they essentially collected over the years of being in the spycraft.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, how ultimately his relationship with Vel was what vindicated him, and like their first meeting in season 1 was rough.
Oh yeah.
So ultimately,
his first meeting with everybody is rough. I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. His first meeting with Luthen was rushed and tough. But ultimately made him proven to be somebody who does not like the Imperials. But anyway, jumping back to where we were.
We were kind of already there.
Yeah.
Saw Gerrera.
Dude.
Did I write that down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Last point.
In his Rogue One prime.
Yeah, so
He's
that was the thing
the hidden enemy.
that I was just kind of shocked that they just left out, was like they did the whole like huffing gas thing, and then
He's just there without all his limbs. And
yeah,
you're
like
"Huh."
they didn't show any payoff to that other than just knowing that okay, he's probably been huffing gas this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
he
what he
probably
does
just
in Rogue
lost all
One.
his limbs from all the radiation or
I was
something.
like,
They could have almost left him out of this whole show, and it would not have mattered.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
yeah,
Nothing.
We could have
that-
gotten this at the very end
Yeah.
of him just talking.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And not anything before.
Yeah.
And it'd be
It was completely pointless to have any of that other stuff happen.
Yeah.
Because
Well-
it didn't affect the storyline at
Right.
all.
Not really.
I'll say essentially what him being in this show was comparing and contrasting him and Luthen.
Yes, but I think they did that well in season 1.
Right.
They didn't really do that in season 2 at all.
I think that's where they fell short. I think him and Luthen's relationship would have been a side story, like a very, very subtle side story in the seasons that were supposed to come, and like filling episodes and stuff like that. But
That was really loud.
Sorry.
but I think that's ultimately where they fell short was
Did the huffing scene happen last week?
Yeah.
So you weren't here for that?
No, it wasn't that.
Was it 2 weeks ago?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You were there.
Okay.
Yeah,
it
it was
2 weeks ago?
it was episode 4 maybe.
I thought you were here for it. Or maybe
No,
you just
it
talked
was-
about it.
Olivia was here.
Okay.
it was I don't know.
Well, anyways, one of your predictions was that was going to come into play with like some kind of like explosive device or something between him and Luthen,
Yeah.
Never happened,
and it never happened. And
Yeah. which is a bummer.
that would have been so good.
Yeah.
I thought that bomb was going to be in the back of Luthen's place, and he was just going
I did too. Yeah, I thought they
And
were
then-
going to blow it up. Like they were just going to wait until they were all there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely thought he was just going to like hit a little thing, and it was going to signal Clea, and she was just going to blow it up.
Yep.
And then he would have been like, "This is my dude, my Arrakis." No,
Wait a minute.
that's a different movie.
I got the wrong script here. He's good at that movie too.
Dude, he's great in that movie. But
Yeah, so the whole like ending, like kind of like a montage
yeah,
of Cassian putting on the outfit that he has at the beginning of Rogue One, and like you already heard about like Tivik in the Rings of Kafrene. So like he's got his next mission, which is the very beginning of Rogue One.
yeah, he's gotta go meet his buddy now.
He's gonna go meet him and shoot him in the gut.
Yep.
And we see Dedra in prison.
Yeah.
And in the databank, it clarifies that she's on Narkina 2, not Narkina 5, because Narkina 5 was,
Broken.
destroyed or whatever in season 1. So
Yep.
it's a different planet. So that whole system
It's
is just
prisons.
a prison system.
That's
Oh
so terrible.
Yeah. But I thought that was it was like I was sad for her, but also like it's very like poetic
Very-
justice.
Yeah,
Very
it's a great character
Very
arc.
fitting.
Yeah.
Really
sure.
cool. Like
so good.
she was her own
Demise.
demise.
Yeah.
And even in like a corrupt system like the Empire, like she still
Yeah.
was like
Treated
her
as a
own
rebel
worst
spy.
enemy. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Yeah. And like this is what you get for trying to further
Choking on your
Tyranny.
aspirations.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, part of gas or whatever, just pushing her to be like, find the evidence and then make him famous.
Make him famous. Yep.
So she just kept pushing and kept pushing,
Yeah.
and then finally she, went rogue and was like, did something almost unscripted to what is normal for the Empire and just sent out a hit squad on him, and it all blew up in her face.
Yeah.
She was the Rogue One.
She was the one. Yeah, and then Partagas.
Dude.
I was not
I didn't
expecting
think
that.
No, I didn't think that was going to happen.
Because, like, who were the two people waiting on him that he had to go be confronted
Yeah.
by?
That's what I was wondering too, because that other guy was
Probably
they're waiting.
Krennic.
No, I don't think so.
You
I
think
kind of think it was the Emperor.
The Emperor and Vader.
Probably.
Yeah. I would imagine they were gonna wonder like, what's been going on under your roof
I
over here?
wanted that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of
But
him
he
just
didn't.
Yeah. He probably
He
knew what was
that-
up. That
yeah.
they were going to think he was a rebel spy.
Yeah, because-
and he was listening to the manifesto,
Yeah.
which was crazy. I thought it was just background noise, and then he turned it off, and he was just like, "What do you think that means? Or who do you think wrote this?" And he was just like, "I don't know. Hurry
Let's
up.
go.
Yeah. Time to go, buddy."
Because if it was
And he was like,
Krennic that was waiting on him, I don't think
No.
he would have killed himself.
Krennic really isn't that important in the
No.
grand scheme.
He's just the
No,
director of
he's
the
not.
Death
Like we
Star.
see that in Rogue One, like Tarkin walks all over him.
Yeah, he's the contractor that's
I loved
building
when he
the
even
house.
said his line that Krennic that Tarkin makes fun of him for, where he's like, "We're so close, days away,"
Yeah.
and that's what like Tarkin always makes fun of him for. Like,
He goes, "You sound like Tarkin."
yeah, you sound like Tarkin. I love that. But like in this show, like Krennic is menacing, but then like you get to Rogue One and then he gets kind of trampled all over with
Yeah.
Tarkin and Vader.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, is a big theme for the Empire. Is like anytime they put someone lesser in charge, they always get trampled all over
Yep.
for whatever reason.
Always a bigger fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that post of Star Wars Explained?
No.
He posted one of the biggest themes of Star Wars is there's always a bigger fish, as Qui-Gon always said, and then it had like a picture of like the whole like hierarchy of the Empire, and it like started with Cyril, then Dedra, then Partagas, then Krennic, then Tarkin, then Vader, then the Emperor.
Oh my god.
Like that's so many.
Yeah.
And it's true, there's always a bigger fish.
Always a bigger fish, and they always get snuffed out.
Yeah. Always get
Single person.
replaced too.
yeah.
On a
I had a funny thought when Dedra was still in the interrogation room, that she was going to be Snoke. I thought, I don't know. I had a random thought. I was just like, what if they keep? What if they keep her on? And then I don't know. She just becomes Snoke. And then
but we know what Snoke is.
I know.
Alternate
And
universe.
She was just the puppet and like the meat puppet for whatever. But anyway,
I made a joke that like
My thought was
when
like,
he leans
what if they did
down
that?
to her and he's like, "Say it." She just goes, "Jar Jar." And then the door opens and it's like Darth Jar Jar walks in.
Yes.
Darth Binks.
Misa Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Misa.
You have disappointed
would
me
I
for the
be
last time you have.
Yusa in big doo-doo now.
Oh gosh.
You've been a bad girl.
Oh. Now it's gotten kinky.
He has a whip.
Yusa been a bad girl. Oh. So yeah, very last scene,
Dude,
Bix has a child.
that made me so sad.
Yeah. And
Yeah, because you know
that
never
he
gonna see him
doesn't
again.
know.
right. And
Because-
probably we'll never know.
So I didn't notice this until I mentioned to Spencer when we were watching, till we watched it the second time. When Vel tells him to reach out to Bix, and she's like, "Do it sooner rather than later."
Yeah.
Like she knows,
yeah.
and she's trying to get him to.
He's like, is she
to
safe?
know.
And she's like, yeah. And he's like, she's safer without me. And
Yeah,
it's
she's like, "Well, reach out sooner,
Yeah.
please." Like, oh, you just should have told him, then he would have done it.
She
yeah,
definitely
he would have
knows.
never taken that mission. He would have just
Oh.
ran off like he always
Yeah.
does and goes save her.
Yeah,
But, you know,
But-
she knew that, you know, he was just weighing her down.
That means
What?
we'll get a spin-off of Andor's son.
That's immediately what I thought too.
Andor Jr.
yeah.
How old do you think that kid was?
Like 1.
Do you think it was 1? Like, do you think that's why she left?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, yeah,
100% that's
absolutely.
why
Like,
she
she
left.
found out that she was pregnant, and then that's
She
why she
knew.
left.
She didn't want to raise
That's why
that kid in the rebellion.
I feel like that's why she became like more sensitive to him when she was like around, like
Yeah.
trying to take care of him, taking him to the Force person,
Yeah.
and then like just all in her feelings, and all of her feelings were very surface level, which is a very pregnant woman thing to do.
Yeah, now I want to rewatch that conversation with her and the Force woman. The Force healer.
Yeah.
Because she does say interesting things to her as well. And I wonder if like maybe she could sense that she had a kid, like she was pregnant
Maybe
or something. Like maybe there's like a hint there.
maybe they had a conversation or something like that, and that's why she like the Force healer was like staring at him like,
Shrek face.
"What's up?" And he was like, "Down." He was like, "Yep." And she was like, "Where are you going?"
No, I think that was their first meeting in that scene, but they have a separate meeting after Cassian walks away. And now I kind of want to watch it again with that.
What the dialogue was.
Yeah, like
Where there's maybe an Easter egg in there.
yeah, not an Easter egg, but like a hint, more like a hint of like maybe she says something that's like related to like you have life inside you or something like that. I don't know.
Since your midichlorian count.
I can tell you the gender if you'd like.
Yeah, right. Disney wouldn't have done that.
I mean, that's a pretty
It's a
normal
they,
thing
them.
for a doctor to do. Anything else related to just thoughts on the thing, on the episodes? Because I want to give like a rating of each of the episodes, talk about the whole season, talk about the whole series, and then did someone else write that?
Yes.
Okay, it's like I don't remember writing that.
Brad sucks.
Perfect.
Brad sucks. Who wrote that?
Wait a minute. Yeah, we can talk about the Rogue One connection. Mm-hmm. Or connections.
Mostly like a rating on like how well do we think it connected, not like
Sweet.
Yeah,
does
yeah.
it connect? Like
Okay.
yeah.
So 10. Unless we need to talk about anything else.
I'm good for that.
I guess I'll start my rating for 10
Out of 10 or out of 5?
Out of 10.
out of 10. Just go back up here just to make sure, because like we said earlier, like they kind of all blur together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'd give it probably a 9.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, too.
I just really liked her going undercover and like infiltrating that hospital.
Oh, yeah.
That was just, and the flashbacks were really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I really liked that.
Yeah. I would give it a 9, too, just because of Luthen's ending, essentially. Just him essentially poetically just sacrificing himself for her, for Kalea. I think
In the
And the
rebellion.
entire rebellion.
Yeah. Him essentially saying, him completing his monologue from his own prophecy of his monologue being like, I'm burning myself for a sun that I know I'll never see, or a sunrise I'll never see, or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
for
Yeah.
sure.
he sacrificed everything.
Everything.
I'd give it
sacrifice everything.
a 9.5.
9.5.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's crazy.
Always the a halves with you.
mhm.
Well, it's better than a 9, but not quite a 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
That's higher than I thought you would do.
Why was it not a 10 for you?
No, that's a completely different question.
yeah. No, I think it's because
You guys all three think this episode was better than like any of 7, 8, 9?
No. I think we all said.
I think we all said 10s across the board last week.
I think First
Whoa.
episode was a 9, and then the last 2 were 10s for us.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Especially
Go watch the episode,
the
Ben.
second one.
Oh, I did.
Okay. Yeah.
For the
Gorman
massacre. Yeah, that was beautifully
Yeah.
written.
I don't know about it.
Completely mirroring Nazi Germany invading France. I'll say Nazi 1,000 times. But
Not the Vietnam War.
yeah,
World War
not
II.
the Vietnam War. But no, it was so good. I mean, also even talking about like seeing the interviews of also seeing the interviews of the actors talking about those 3 episodes or whatever. The lady who said her who played Deirdre. I'll learn her name eventually. Dedra.
You learn all
It's
of the
spelled-
names after the show's over.
Yeah.
Luthen
I'll
and
learn
Dedra.
the actual actress's name
Luthen
eventually.
and Dedra.
But
Luthen and
Luthen,
Deidre.
Luthen and
Deidre.
Deidre.
But no, her talking about like her being there and seeing the guy. I guess he like did like a hand gesture or something like that before he started singing, like grabbing his wrist
Yeah,
or
he
something
did
like that.
It was like the Gorman greeting or something like
Yeah,
that.
him doing that, and then like her like tearing up or something like that whenever that happened. And I was like, yeah, I guess there was just a lot of things that I missed or whatever to make it more.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that
just
being there probably would have been crazy.
yeah, just seeing all of that happen.
Hearing
just,
all of them sing and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's also probably not as crazy when you can't see the blasters. Everybody's probably going pew 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 pew.
Like while they're filming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like also going back to whatever Phantom Menace and all that. Whenever Ewan McGregor, I guess, was told to stop making the lightsaber noises and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it would probably be really hard if you were cast as a Jedi and not be like,
Yeah. I mean,
or
even
even
just the
being
blasters.
or even being a stormtrooper and under a
Yeah.
helmet going pew pew.
Yeah.
Pew, pew.
Yeah. I would struggle with that.
Yeah, I would struggle with that. I'd
I
be
mean,
like,
we played lightsabers and blasters for years as kids.
Yeah.
Just like go right back to that.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would give this episode probably a 7.5.
Yikes.
I think of the 3, it was...
Luthen's dead though.
I know.
Luthen and Deidre.
I think of the 3 episodes, it was the weakest. Compared to the other 2 things, the weakest. So I would give it a 7.5.
I think overall you struggle more with dialogue more than anything that I've noticed.
You're an idiot.
Like you always
You just don't get it.
You always more prefer like action.
I
and
would
stuff.
like a good balance. I don't like episodes that are just dialogue.
I'm the same one.
I mean, I always know that you're checked out when you check your phone when you watch.
When anything intellectual happens, Ben just doesn't get it. That's just the vibe that I got from you. You delicately
just
trying to be
really
like
struggle
Ben.
with dialogue.
Whenever
I mean-
something interesting happens, you become stupid. That's just what
Struggle is the word.
No,
I
not
think
not as in like you don't get it. I'm just saying like you
when people
prefer
are talking, you don't understand.
you prefer more action rather than more dialogue. And this episode was a lot of dialogue.
Yeah. I'd say this whole arc was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It-
honestly,
it
this
was-
whole show is.
Well, yeah.
No, I think the last 2 episodes had more action than not.
Yeah.
Just
Definitely than this one.
escaping the hospital.
If you don't count her like sneaking around and being undercover as action, then yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I would consider that
and the
action.
flashbacks, I guess,
But she
kinda
does
had
most of
action.
Yeah, the
too.
flashbacks
Next
didn't
one.
have action.
Well, when he found her, it did.
It was
Yeah,
action
that all
off
happened
screen.
in 11.
Yeah.
That's why
It was
I
just-
thought 11 and 12 were a little bit better because it had a good balance
Yeah.
between the 2.
Yeah, like all the action
7.5 is
that
not a bad rating.
that built
No.
up in 10 like didn't actually happen until 11.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I get that.
What was one episode that you thought was a 10?
Well, if he didn't have the Corbin Massacre, it probably wasn't any of them.
Mm-hmm. That was one episode that you looked back on and was like, yeah, this makes the show.
We didn't actually like rate any of them until last week. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, we didn't have any ratings.
No, we didn't
before.
do it the last time I was here.
No, we didn't do that until last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see what you're
Well,
saying.
you-
Okay.
We did it
last
last week
week,
because we
but
were
yeah.
hammered.
Yeah. So my rate, I think I told you before we started watching this for my ratings of last week. Like I thought almost the same like cadence of this. Like I thought 7 and 8 were really good, and then 9 was still fine. It just wasn't as strong as 7 and 8 because it was. I mean, it was just a lot of like chase of like Mothma getting out, but there was also still a lot of like dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Like with her speech and her talking to Bale and Luthen and
I will
Cassian
give you
talking.
credit that like a lot of the show is like, come on, you're supposed to be running, and you're like having this full on conversation, like let's go.
Yeah.
But on the other side of that, which I wanted to say when we were watching, because when I noticed you were on your phone during conversation, and I knew you were listening still,
Yeah.
but so many shows these days will just have dialogue for the sake of dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed in this show, every single point of dialogue is so important. And I didn't really realize that until I was watching it the second time with all these things that I made notes for, like the things, all the things that they were saying in the flashbacks were completely like relative to what she was about to do. And you don't know that when you're watching it. So then you're like, okay.
Yeah, there's not
There's
just
more
random
dialogue
dialogue of like,
Yeah.
how's your day? Or like, oh, I got to go fix this. Or like, there's
Yeah.
none of that. It's
If there
like,
is, then
Nope.
it's important.
right. True.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I don't think
And that's
any
hard
of
to
the
get used to.
dialogue episodes are going to be rated bad. Like none of these episodes I would rate less than like a 6 or 7 total for the whole show. Like I think they're all worthy of that.
Right.
So going back to the question, what's one episode, season 1, season 2, that you're like,
Probably 8 would be the closest one.
The Massacre.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
But I also really liked 7, which was a lot of the build up of like Cassian getting there, scoping out, like kind of figuring things
You didn't
out.
think One Way Out was a 10?
One way out.
One
Season
way
1.
out. One
Well,
way
10 for
out.
me.
That was
He didn't like
That was-
season 1.
I
that was
don't
an
like season
11 for me.
Yeah, it was so good.
One Way Out was an 11, dude. Because I feel like it kind of just almost sparked like video game thoughts for me of like playing, you know, secretive games all those years, like Splinter Cell, Metal Gear Solid kind of things. It just made me feel like, okay, time to get prepped, time to do this, time to do that, alongside with the hospital scene as well of that episode, just top notch. And it gave you the feels too, with Andy Serkis in there. Like, dude, like him flipping, being like, okay, on program, like, oh no, everything's dying, we're all gonna die. And he's like, how many people are on this floor? And he's like, 12, never more than 12. And we were like, yes,
Yeah.
he's on
When he's like
board.
resistant the whole time, and
Yeah.
then he says that. It's like, okay, he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will also note, Google lied to all of us that Andy Serkis was going to be
know.
in season 2.
Well, it was IMDb, wasn't
So
it?
stupid.
Yeah, what the heck?
IMDb I mean, maybe he was like an alien character in the background voicing
don't think
somebody
so.
or something like that. But
too
even so,
He
like,
was the patient that she was pushing.
yeah, yeah, could have been.
That'd be so funny.
Or if he was probably just a motion capture for somebody or a stormtrooper or something like that.
I don't think he was in there.
Yeah,
It must have been a
IMDb
false
lied. Google lied. AI
The
lied.
universe lied.
Yeah,
Skanks.
they all lied. I mean, maybe he's in a cut scene or something like, or maybe he's like walking in the background and you just don't even know.
There wasn't a flashback to that, was there?
No.
No.
Nope.
But I could have sworn like
What would have been sick is if like Dedra was
Yeah.
in her thing and you would have heard him say on program.
yeah,
and
that's,
you're like,
I made that joke whenever that came up. I was
Yeah,
like,
I went like-
on program. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's where I could see like he didn't actually make it out and like he just got transferred or something like that. I could
been
see
kinda
that.
cool.
yeah, that would
It
have
would
been
be sad that he didn't get out,
that would have been
but
devastating. Yeah, just him just getting on.
at least he'd be alive.
Yeah, he's still alive and just be like, just hold out like 5 more years, bud.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
make it.
So 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah. 5.
Yeah, I said 9.5, but I
9.5,
might just
yeah.
change it down to a 9 since this was the build up to episode 11 with the hospital scene.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it had the hospital scene.
No,
No,
I
it didn't. This is where Luthien died.
The very end of the episode
Yeah.
is the shuttle getting taken away.
Yep.
What?
Yeah. That's why I was confused why you put that there. That
Yeah.
all happened in 11.
Because the whole last scene was
I copied these from StarWars.com, so
oh.
I think she gets into the hospital, but she doesn't start doing anything.
I don't know.
but this was the fade out scene of him dying. Was the last
The
scene of
first
this
one?
Yeah.
I think so. I think it was 2. Oh, you might be right.
2 is when it ends
You-
when she's in the apartment
Oh, yeah.
and they're like just about to close in on them.
Okay, then yeah, 9.5.
Yeah.
The whole hospital scene was great.
That
Yeah.
whole half just makes it all more better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does a lot of heavy lifting there.
I mean, I'd definitely say it was a 9 all around.
Do you want me to check?
No.
Oh, no.
Okay.
We're good.
Just Luthen's scene. So 11. What do you say, Brad?
Huh?
11.
11. No, for episode 11.
Episode 11. Not your rating, is it?
No.
Episode 11.
11 out of 10.
No, 11 out of 10 was one way out.
I'd say 8. Probably 8.
With the interrogation and everything?
I'd agree.
Okay.
8.
I loved the interrogation. I
Yeah,
loved
yeah.
the episode.
It was a lot of piecing things together and knitting stuff for almost the next episode, I would say, and just tying up Dedra's storyline, introducing K2, seeing him. Well, I don't know. Actually, I'd put a 8.5. K2
Yeah.
badass in that one. Oh wait,
Yeah.
no, that's 11 or 12. Sorry. Never mind.
Well,
They
11
kind
is
of
when...
cut halfway through that
So I'd say
action
8.
scene.
Yeah. So we don't see K2 do the hallway scene until 12.
Okay.
But he's in 11. That's when they're like playing cards and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they get the message and then they go
They
and
get
they
there.
get to her. And
Like I'd put
He gets
this
to
one,
that floor, but he doesn't go in yet.
I'd
no, he
rate,
goes in and
Yeah.
starts talking to her.
I would rate this one a 9.
Excuse me?
7.5 to a 9 because of
The interrogation was
Okay.
one of my favorite scenes,
Yeah.
and then I liked the intensity and like the on your seatness of them like doing all of the things with the apartment and getting her out of there. I know that it overlaps into 12, but
right.
they leave you with a very big like cliffhanger. Like, are they actually going to make it out of there,
Yeah.
or are they just like going to get bunkered down and like somebody's going to die? Like, I thought she was going to die.
I thought Clay was going to die for sure.
I did too. Yeah.
I thought he was going to be the only one to get out of there by himself. And
Well,
Well,
we knew
the-
Melshi had to live
Yeah,
because he's in Rogue
I was going
One.
to say his buddy is in
I
Rogue
forgot
One.
about that.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought she was gonna die for sure. Like they definitely made it seem like she was going
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I
She
honestly
kept
thought,
saying, like, leave me, leave me.
yeah, I thought there was going to be a point in the conversation when he was going to be like, okay, like I have the information that you told me, like you're willing to stay here and die for this. That's okay. We'll just peace out then.
Yeah, like we're running out of time.
Yeah.
So.
Or I thought she was going to be like, I'll buy you time. Like you
Yeah.
get out of here. Like
Yeah.
this is what I was always going to be doing anyway.
So
like,
sad.
Yeah,
I thought-
like
The fact she didn't want to go was sad in itself.
Well, yeah. She was afraid the rebellion wasn't going to accept her.
Yeah.
So going back to last week's though, what was Bix looking at out the window that she was seeing that she was just like, they're shining the light again? What was that? You know what I'm talking about?
2 weeks ago.
Was that 2 weeks ago? Well, even so,
In that apartment?
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was when that was the signal. They showed it twice.
yeah, I know they showed it twice, but I had no idea what.
Oh, it was
that
like a
referring
blinking
to.
light, meaning like Luthen has a mission for them.
Oh, that was
They
Luthen's
showed it the
spot.
first time
Oh,
Cassian went to
okay.
go talk to him.
I had no idea what
Because they
that
were
was
like, the beacon is lit.
Yeah, oh, okay. I had no
Basically.
idea what that was referring to. I thought because she was all drugged up. I thought she was just like, they're shining the light again. I thought it was just like something that annoyed her.
Oh, no. Yeah, it was a signal from Luthen. That's why when
Okay.
she said that, she's like, I'm coming this time.
Okay.
And that's when they went to go kill the
I
doctor
had
guy.
no idea.
Yeah.
I thought that was so confusing. But going back to that, I thought she was going to jump out the window or something crazy because Bix kept looking out the window. Because, this whole show is about, like, you show the gun, it's going to go off. That's this whole show.
Or she was like taking drugs half the show.
Right. Yeah. But, like, I don't know. But, I'll backtrack because that bomb never went off with Saw Gerrera. So I guess that isn't the whole thing.
We didn't see it get used, but it was
Yeah.
implied that it probably was used for something.
Yeah, maybe in some like offshoot show that we all missed.
I mean,
or
he
something
said
like
what
that.
it was going to be used for. We just didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
I will rate it a 9 as well. For the same exact reasons.
Okay.
Just
12.
so good.
12?
Yeah. No, I'm saying episode
You didn't rate
12,
it,
dog.
though, did you?
12 out of
Yeah,
10.
he was the first one.
I said 8.
No, I was the first one.
I agreed with you. I said 8.
Oh,
I
okay.
overtalked
he
you.
did. He did.
Okay. Yeah. So episode 12. I'd say 8.
Whoa.
I almost said 7.5, but I'll just go 8.
I thought you were going to say 6. I was like, what a drop.
I mean, that scene at the beginning is just a continuation of the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Carries this episode.
It does.
I agree.
And like, I don't hate this episode by any means. Obviously, I rated it an 8. And even if that episode didn't exist, I still really like it. But it doesn't have any payoff at all because it implies that you're probably going to watch Rogue One next. And that is the payoff, really, for this whole season and show.
Yeah,
but
we don't watch
especially this episode.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a build-up episode.
It's just arc 5.
Yeah.
Like, this is 4.
Yeah.
Rogue One is 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And, like, it just really just builds up to that.
But
and doesn't have any conclusion
Makes
at
a
all.
huge bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sad part is like, if that's the arc, like, you would hope that the way that like the climax of all of that is shown is you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you get to like Rogue One, and then it's like the drop off. But like how this is gone with like ratings, it's like 1 and 2 was like really good. Then I think 4, 5, and 6 was down here.
I agree.
Then 7, 8, and 9 are up here, and then we had to come down again for these 3. And then and then Rogue One is better than
It's going to be at the 10.
how these 3.
But it starts off not as exciting. I mean, he kills Tivik
Rogue
in
One.
Rogue One. But, like, then it starts ramping up.
Yeah, it starts off slow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, not slow.
him
but
killing
like,
Tivik is intriguing. So
Yeah,
I
but-
wouldn't say that's a low point.
lowest part of the movie.
It's
It grabs you right away.
It's a twist
yeah,
to
it
make you
grabs
think
you.
like, oh, this dude's like
For real.
devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when he is in that marketplace, and he gets caught by those troopers, and he's just like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Bam, bam, bam. You're like,
Oh,
a good guy who's a killer.
not the anime noises again.
Bang, bang, bang.
Oh,
My God. found my weakness, my stomach.
I would rate this a 7. I think there is some really good parts. The beginning, finishing off like the apartment stuff was really good.
Mhm.
Some of the conversations with like Mon Mothma and Bail and Cassian and like that kind of stuff was good.
Yeah.
But overall, I don't think it was like that great of a conclusion. There
It just
also
wasn't
was like,
satisfying.
yeah, there were still some pieces missing that we were like,
Yeah.
like the whole Saw Gerrera stuff was like kind of annoying. I think they
Yeah.
could have ended this with a little bit more gusto with like going into Rogue One.
Yeah.
I still think that they probably could have like done some sort of teaser with like Vader and the Emperor. Not that you needed to have them as actors in this, but like maybe a hologram.
I was
or
surprised the Emperor didn't show
like,
up.
yeah, like something.
With
or
all
like
the
even
high
the
speed
voice,
stuff.
Or even
like you overhear him talking,
Yeah.
or something like that. Like,
yeah, like Partagas actually not killing himself and just going into the room
Yeah.
and being like, they're ready for you. And you just see like their silhouettes or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what we talked about.
You see their silhouette
like
or
3
like
weeks ago.
their faces like on holograms, and then the doors shut behind them, and then that would be enough.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or like Partagas getting into a ship and then flying to their Star Destroyer or something like that they were using at the time. But bummer.
Or some kind of explosion somewhere else. Like
More
from
action.
Saw.
More action, big
Like
boom.
that would have been cool at the end.
Me want more boom.
Just something like
There wasn't
as a
enough
finale.
explosiveness at the end of all of their arcs. I mean, Vel was just like, they mentioned Cinta, like when they were toasting.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Like, she was a big, like one of the biggest characters in season 1, and they just kind of shivved her at the end, being like, all right, you're cool. I guess you're all healed up now, mentally and physically, and like you can be part of the rebellion, I guess.
Only part of one arc in season 1.
well, she was a big part of
Biggest. One of the
season
biggest
2
parts. Her and Cinta.
until the halfway point. And
They
then
made it
she's
seem
just-
like her and Cinta were going to be like a huge part of season 2, and they were just like,
I didn't.
Vel
get
was
that.
like, all right, like I guess I'm here hanging around with Mon Mothma, and then like she's on Yavin. It's like, oh,
well, it was a year later, but yeah.
oh, I guess she
It's
was.
just
I guess she was part of the Gorman. She helped start the Gorman Rebellion, but you
Yeah,
know,
it's just a symptom of them doing a year later thing. It's just
yeah,
things
which
just felt a little rushed.
which
Or a
still,
lot
I mean,
rushed, depending on.
it would have
the
been
thing.
cool if like I don't know, she was part of Gold Squadron or something like that, like just in the background, or like fixing like a Gold Squadron ship or something like that to help with Mon Mothma getting there or something like that. I don't know, but just kind of shivved her at the end, being like, "Go talk to Cassian." All right. Anyway. But I would also, I agree with Ben. Just this whole episode, every one of the highlights, just the K2 thing, him just blasting through the apartment, that resolving, the Mon Mothma speech with them around the almost Rogue One table that they have in the movie, just them being in, I guess, you know, the broadcast room of seeing the hologram of Saw and, you know, all of that. And then just, it just all after that whole scene with all the senators there, it just kind of went. So
I will say,
Well,
would
after
say-
that, it was just the montage.
yeah, and I actually did really like the montage. Like,
Yes,
it
I did
was
too, yeah.
great score.
Yeah.
Good like scenes and build up of them like taking off in the ship. You see like all of the X-wing pilots in like their orange gear and like
Yeah,
everything
that was
going.
cool.
Like that
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of stuff was cool. It like gets you like, this is really the rebellion. And
Yeah,
like, they
and
have it
seeing
now.
Clea walk out, and then she gives a little smile after she sees
Yeah.
all the guys.
You
Like,
see,
walk
like,
by.
just the hintest little smile of her just, like, flicking her cheeks of
Yeah.
getting ready to smile, being like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, this
Yeah.
is fine. And also them, with the X-Wings bringing in Cassian's ship when they were coming down. I don't think that was in episode 12. Maybe it was in 11.
No, it was
But-
because they were coming back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Them just being like, all right, you're not authorized. And I was just like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's not like Imperials, buddy. But no, it's the New Republic, baby.
Well, I mean, it's a top secret military base, so
For
it makes
sure.
sense.
Yeah.
So entire season 2 as a whole.
Out of 10,
9.5.
10.5.
Said 9.5.
My goodness.
Every rating of yours is just over 10.
14.
11. No.
The 0.5 is the ending for me. I didn't like it. I mean, the Bix thing was cool. Her having the baby. That kind of made me feel like, oh, okay. Yeah.
But that's what keeps you from doing a full 10.
Is just how it all ended.
Lack of a conclusion.
Lack of
Yeah.
Because
Big Bang story arcs.
yeah,
Or Big Bang endings to all their arcs. But yeah, I would say 9.5 or maybe even 9. Because they
8.5.
also didn't have
8.5?
Yeah.
K2 a whole lot.
The middle of the series this season just wasn't all that great. Like
Mhm.
that second arc.
Second week, yeah.
Like 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of things that either were
You
unrelated.
guys really didn't like that wedding episode, did
I
you?
didn't mind it, but these guys really hated it.
There's just a lot of things that,
So unnecessary.
yeah, like if it wasn't
Oh.
there, it would have been okay.
Pause. We didn't talk about what happened to Mon Mothma's husband.
Oh yeah, and the
that
montage.
little scene, yeah.
Yeah.
So
with,
that was
her ending up with what's his face's wife. In the end, they were just cruising on.
I was
along
like,
their thing.
I was very confused at first, and then it clicked. I was like, that's who that was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because we hadn't seen him in like 5 episodes. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, you didn't know who he was?
no, I was trying
She
to figure
was.
out
Oh.
who he was.
I couldn't figure out who she was until I watched another video.
I knew exactly who she was
because I recognized her. She was the
She stuck out in the wedding scene. She was
Skolden's wife.
yeah.
yeah.
She was Holden's wife, and
the
they just
wife
ended
of
up
someone
together,
else.
and they were just having a merry old time drinking a whole bottle together. And I was
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
And well, also they didn't say anything about the daughter, which bummed me out because that nullified the whole wedding scene. Like, who gives a shit now?
Exactly.
So
Yeah, that was a little
No
weird.
point.
Like, just give us a little update.
I thought the daughter was going to be on his shoulder, and then it was that guy's wife, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. I also almost half expected him to be in the cell next to Dedra.
What a crazy twist that would
have
been.
That would have been
Just be like,
hilarious.
oh well.
But yeah, it made
And then the
a
daughter.
lot of that
Sitting
whole
there.
first 3 episodes just
First 5, really.
pointless because she just completely ditched her family, but they didn't address any of that. It just was like, you're on Yavin now.
Yeah.
You're happy.
Well,
Yeah.
but
You're not
also
sad that you've ditched your family at all.
it kind of
she is, but
It could also mean that it kind of solidified her completely cutting off her family for the rebellion and sacrificing everything.
Yeah.
It almost you could say that it heightened it, that whole wedding scene of her just being like, all right, I'm completely cutting it off. Like, this is what I have to do. I have to kill my oldest friend that I've had. I have to give up my daughter. I have to give up my husband.
But they don't even ever talk about it. Like, they
Right.
don't even have a single scene where she's like
even a montage about it. Yeah.
sad about it or like happy about it or like it never gets
it
mentioned.
would have been more interesting if she had if Perrin, her husband, called her somewhere along the way and
She missed the call or something, or
Or-
declined it.
declined it. Yeah, something like that to be okay, that just solidifies she's done with them.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, It also
something.
Well, you could also say like the daughter being like, "I wish you were drunk," was her being like,
Yeah,
cutting that off.
I think that solidified.
And then her
that
husband.
too.
I don't know, because in that wedding scene, like where she was jumping around frantically to the music or whatever, her husband was like looking at her like, oh, and that gave me a spark of like, oh, he could like be turned on to what's going on right now, but nope, not at all.
I think it was just like he enjoyed seeing her like that because it was unlike anything that she's ever done before. Like, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's the woman I wish I had. Like, she's not like that ever, or something like that. That's kind of how I took it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Your rating?
The ultimate rating. Here we go.
8.
Of season 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. Feel that.
Yeah.
Is it because of the rushness?
Yeah. Yeah, that honestly really just bummed me out, especially now that we have it all. Is like just a little too rushed. Like, I get that they didn't want to do 5 seasons, but
Could have made 2 seasons out of it, at least, and then just
like 2 more.
Yeah.
And just slowed things down half as much.
And had a 3rd one, and then that was it.
Mm-hmm.
But
that
would've been perfect
instead they
size.
rushed 5 seasons into one. So dumb.
and not. I feel like they didn't have to have it so like bump up so close to Rogue One. I don't think that was necessary.
Like literally seconds before.
Yeah,
Rogue
like
One.
literally seconds. Like,
I kind of liked that.
I
actually.
like it, but I just feel like it wasn't necessary. I feel like they could have just made implications for some of the stuff, like what they started to do, and then had just a more of a conclusion to all of the missions that they went on. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like if they added another season, like these last 3 episodes could have just been 1 episode, and just had like a big giant finale for it, and like just barely touched like, you know, a whisper of what was going to happen in Rogue One, being like rings of Kafrene, Jeddah.
Rings of Kafrene.
Yeah, exactly. Just like barely even mentions like the commander of Yavin being like, okay, we need to talk to you about what's going to happen next or something like that, and then just done.
Yeah.
I feel like a snap cut of like him being like, okay, we need to talk to you about this, and then like doors open and you see the Saw Gerrera scene, and then it just cuts.
Yeah.
Completely. Because I mean, we all kind of figured what was going to, except for the Bix thing, having a baby, like that could have been snap cut of Cassian being completely done, and then just them ending with just Bix, and then that would have been it.
I just think it would have been more enjoyable if we saw just more missions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially with him and K2. Like,
him.
I don't know.
That would have given us more action too.
Yeah, more action, and not that I necessarily needed that, but
Well, I feel like we also needed more sacrifice from Cassian, because I feel like all we've gotten was just him being like, okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm done. I did this mission. Blah blah blah. Wah wah wah. And then like, because in Rogue One, he yells at Jin.
mm-hmm.
He's just like, do you understand what I've sacrificed? And it's like,
He doesn't say that.
Is this what you
Yeah, he does.
sacrificed?
your
I don't
buddy?
think he ever says
You
sacrifice.
sacrificed Brasso and
I mean, and his mother.
his mom. Well, she was gonna die.
And
She's
maybe
old.
he's referring
Well,
to
but she
Bix,
gets
but-
killed.
She gets well.
I don't think he says sacrifice. Because his most famous line in Rogue One when he's talking to Jin is, I've been in this fight since I was 7 years old or something like that.
I feel like he said something along the lines of, do you understand what I've sacrificed, or do you understand what I've been through, or something
that's
like
Norman
that?
Osborn in Spider-Man.
No.
What?
Do you understand what I've sacrificed?
Yeah.
Yes, but he also says it's on Yavin. I'm pretty sure.
Is it?
He yells at Jin, and it's like, do you understand?
Not in IMDb quotes.
My rating,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we lost all track.
Yeah. My rating is a 7.
As expected.
Okay. Entire Andor series as a whole.
I'd probably go 8 still. 8 across the board.
What was your rating of season 1?
Probably an 8. Yeah.
Okay.
8 for both in all.
So an average of 8.
Yep.
Okay.
I do 8 for season 1, so that would do an 8 for the whole show.
Now we're doing math rules.
What did you say for season 2?
8.5.
So 8.25.
Right. 8.25.
Season 1 for me is probably a 9, just because of Cassian's whole story being fleshed out. Season 2, actually probably an 8.
So all of it as a whole?
As a whole, a 9.
Like both seasons?
A whole is a 9.
Okay.
No.
Well,
But-
it doesn't have to be math.
Season 1 is a 7.
Just
season
because-
2 is a 7. But as a whole, it's a 9.
I mean, yeah.
Just
That's
because
different.
I
That's not
loved
math.
this show. I appreciated it so much. I appreciated that it was a Star Wars show for an adults and not just,
For sure.
cartoony, Disney-ified, like, as long as you're a good guy, it's gonna be okay. And it's like, not all the time, baby. Doesn't work out for a lot of people. You ever heard of the word martyr? Don't watch the show. Does not end up good for the good guys.
Or watch the show to learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't watch the movie either if you don't like how the good guys die. What do you say then?
Yeah.
Season 1?
Season 1, I would give a 5.
Oof.
Yeah. I need to go back and rewatch it again.
I think you do.
think after now watching this, I think I might appreciate it a little bit
I
more.
wonder if
Definitely.
we would talk, if we talked about it like this when you were watching it, it would improve it for you.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of little things in there.
Mm-hmm.
It just
Catch
was
off the beat.
It was the slowest thing ever.
slow.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
was like, this is just the driest thing I've ever watched.
Yeah.
It was
Not really, but like,
so
so dry.
but you could appreciate it that you were like, all right, we're going to get 5 whole seasons out of this. And then season 2 comes and you're like, uh-oh.
they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
As a whole, I'd probably say a 7. Like, it was maybe a 6 or 7, somewhere in there.
Mhm.
It was fine. I liked Skeleton Crew more.
Yeah. So some of the things I wanted to point out was to mention Skeleton Crew. Did you ever watch Skeleton Crew?
I don't like anything that has violence and has children in it. It's not my deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
When you get a kid, you'll understand. Just saying. I can't watch a lot of movies anymore just because of if there's violence and there's kids in it. Nope.
a lot of stuff.
Negative.
There's a
Exactly.
lot of stuff.
I can't watch a lot anymore just because of being a dad. You'll get it when the little one turns like 2 or 3. You'll be like, oh, I can't watch that. You'll get it.
I've never met anyone that is like that though.
Your parents?
Yeah, they're the ones that showed us all of these things.
No, I meant like not Star Wars, like
No,
in
I
general,
just mean
but
in
like
general. I mean, like, tons
Well-
of movies have kids in it that has violence in it.
for sure. But I mean, I don't know.
Well, there's a
I just
difference
can't.
between having kids in it and violence and
Them
the
being
violence towards the kids.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like, it is in a lot of stuff.
I know, but it hurts me. Makes me go, oh no. Like, for example, like there was an Evil Dead movie that came out recently or something like that, and it was all about like the parents becoming demons and torturing the
Okay,
kids the
that
whole
I
time. And I was just like,
understand.
oh, okay.
That's completely different.
I was at a
Same
drive.
bucket as Skeleton Crew.
I was. Well, no, I just.
Skeleton Crew is more like the Goonies, honestly. Or it's
Oh,
like,
okay.
just
Well, like,
kind of
I don't know.
lighthearted.
Just, I can't. I don't know. Just something in my
Yeah.
brain says no. I don't need it in my brain.
Fair.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I wanted
Kids
to
traumatized. I can't watch it.
point out that like there's been a lot of posts online of people like saying like Andor is the best thing that has ever happened to Star Wars and it's one of the best things that has ever been written. It's like we need to have everything Star Wars going forward to be exactly like Andor, and Tony Gilroy needs to be in charge of Star Wars. Like no.
No.
Like something can be good and also not
And be different.
Yeah.
and not encapsulate everything
And
of
be
a
separate.
franchise.
Yeah.
Like the best thing about Star Wars is like it's so. We've talked about this before, but like there's so much variety.
It's for everybody.
And it's for everyone. Like
You could find something for a certain age group in everything.
So like you didn't watch Skeleton Crew because of certain things that you don't like about it, but then you have Andor. It's like something you really really like about it. Like
Yeah, it was just all about adults struggling in the face of oppression. Without superpowers.
Whereas like a whole different like perspective, like maybe kids would really love Skeleton Crew because it has kids in it
that they can relate to.
and they can relate to. Or like my wife, like she really liked Mandalorian because it was like a totally different style. It had like baby Grogu in it, and
That's about it.
The
likes
story's not super deep that you can actually just like watch it.
Yeah, you
this
can
guy's
jump
got
in
these
any
little mini
episodes and
adventures,
get it.
but
Exactly.
but then you have like all the trilogies of like
Yeah,
the originals, and they're just all different kinds of
Ahsoka
stuff.
with, you know, like diving into like what it means to be a Jedi and stuff. Like that's what I ultimately missed from this show. Like even though I really love this show and I like getting that side of Star Wars, like the more gritty adult side of it, but then by the end of it, I'm just kind of missing, like, I miss having Jedi around, you know, like, that's what
we
means the most to
lightsaber
me
somewhere in this show
about Star Wars. And I'm not saying I wanted it in it. Like, yes, it would be great to have Vader have another hallway scene or whatever, but, like, I'm glad that didn't happen because that makes it special in Rogue One.
True.
You can't just have endless hallway scenes of Vader, like, wrecking everybody.
Yeah.
Unless it's a show about Vader, then I'm good with it, but
Yeah, which I don't think we're ever going to get.
I don't know.
Like, because of the comic books, I think it's just in the comic books, unless Dave Filoni's like, all right, let's rewrite the comic books, which he did for K2, so.
Hayden is finally
he had nothing to do with
appreciated
the
by
show.
fans, though, so.
Huh?
I said Hayden is finally appreciated by fans, though, so
It's true.
Yeah.
we could get
He's come back twice now.
some more of him as Vader.
That'd be great.
Maybe. One pop-up question. Do you guys think Plo Koon would have survived Order 66 if he wasn't in that ship?
These questions.
Do you think he
We're
would have...
not done talking about Andor.
I know.
You did this last time.
I
and
know.
I had to cut it out.
All right. I'll not do that.
No, it's freaking
Just quick yes or no. Do you think he would have survived if he wasn't in that starship?
No.
No.
Okay.
None of them survived. They weren't all in starships.
Dave Filoni and I disagree.
Well, yeah, because Dave Filoni is obsessed with Plo Koon.
Yeah, he's the only dude who did Force or Lightning Justice or whatever the fuck it's called.
I don't even know what that's.
The yellow lightning that he does.
Plo Koon?
What?
Isn't that Plo Koon?
Yellow lightning?
Yeah, he does like light side lightning powers. I think it's only in the game though.
Yeah, that sounds like a video game thing.
Yeah,
He doesn't do that in Power Battles.
Yeah,
does he?
actually, I think you're right. He does do that in Power Battles.
he does. Because yeah, they were like, why can he only do that? And they renamed it like Force Justice.
Electric Judgment.
Yeah, that's what it was called.
Oh my gosh, what a name!
Because he's like the only guy who could do Force Lightning as a light side user.
But that's Luke.
Pretty neat, huh?
This is all legend stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty neat. Anyway, back to Andor. I wish they would make more adult series for Star Wars. But probably not going to get that for another 10 or 20 years.
I don't know. I think with how successful this has been, I think they're going to not shy away from that and probably lean more into it going forward. Not necessarily with him, but
what I'm scared of is that they'll probably
not darker side, just better writing.
What I'm scared of is that they will probably like do some live action stuff that should not be live action. Probably do and make it darker.
Like what? Rebels?
Mm-hmm.
Like make Rebels live action? No.
I'm saying in like 10 or 20 years. When
No,
Dave
I doubt
Filoni's
that.
like on his last legs of being alive. Or
No,
yeah,
I
just
don't
because
think so.
I think they'll just miss making more Star Wars stuff and they're stuff to talk about.
They're not, though. You keep saying that. They have millennia of things to talk about.
for sure.
They need to go to Old Republic or the High Republic and
High
just
Republic, yeah.
go nuts. Like a show like Andor about Sith would be the dream show.
Yeah, but
Like show the story of Darth Bane in the style of Andor.
they're not going to mess with Knights of the Old Republic.
Well, I think they are already. So
Well,
it's not even out yet.
Anyways,
No, that's
all
what I
right,
thought.
let's
he was
get out of
talking
here.
about.
It's getting late. I got to piss. And I'm still on call.
the end.
All right, I guess that's the end then. Okay. You are listening to Galaxy Bound Podcast. We do monthly episodes talking about all things Star Wars. We'd greatly appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe or follow us on whatever platform you are watching or listening from. It helps us grow and reach more people. You can follow us on social media on basically every platform out there at Galaxy Bound TV, or check us out at our website at galaxybound.tv for links to them all. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. You in big doo-doo now.
You sub in a bad girl.
Oh. Now it's gotten kinky.
He has a whip.
Oh, God.